Welcome to the study. This is Brofessor Hemlock. Today I want to go over ways to improve your arcane gameplay. So this is something that I love to do. If you're a viewer of the channel and you have your own raid footage or you have your own Mythic Plus footage and you're interested in having me review your footage, I would happily review it as well. Send me a clip of some of your fights or encounters and I would be happy to review them. And today, this is kind of, where we're going with this is I want to talk about how to improve those things. These are mistakes that I see really often, and I want to kind of give everyone generic ways to improve their arcane gameplay. So we're going to start off with a Hungering Destroyer pull. So on this pull, I'm going to build up, do my DPS rotation, and then we're going to get a movement mechanic back to back. So we're going to kind of assess how I handle this situation to maximize my DPS output. So I am using Imperial Ordnance here, so I do precast my trinket. Now right here, this is simply a build phase. In this pull, you always are going to use Lust off the bat. This is a mythic pull. So right here, right, I have dropped my rune. I'm in the build phase. My Imperial Ordnance, we can see here at the very top of the screen, has 4.6 seconds left, and I get a beam. So I need to move out of the raid so I don't kill everyone. Pretty straightforward here. I am going to cancel my cast, use Palm, keep my damage going, getting back on top. Now I am going to start my cooldown rotation. As that Imperial Ordnance expired, you can look at my buffs here. I'm about to start gaining the Imperial Ordnance buff. I have 3 Clearcast buffs, and I have my Unbound Changeling buff as well. Perfect timing. We cast Mirrors, Touch of the Magi AP, and then we simply do a ton of damage during that AP window. And we'll soon see that Touch of the Magi explode. Right here, great DPS situation. Now I get the miasma, so I have to move across to the other side for miasma. So I'm going to use my slipstream to move across. I already have orbed. Now I'm going to continue doing damage. I get a fire blast in and an arcane explosion, and because I was conscious about always casting there, I was rewarded, thankfully, and I got a clear cast proc off of that arcane explosion. Always cast. That right there then gave me the ability to get an additional clear cast proc, keep doing more damage, and funneling out my DPS even during movement. Now right here, we continue this. So since I have miasma, that means I'm going to essentially be taking a lot of damage. So I popped Alter Time when I was at a high health pool. Now I can essentially purposefully take damage, and I'm going to be able to fully restore myself. So I drop down really low. I don't need to go into the group to heal. All I have to do is, bam, Alter Time back to full. And now I'm at full HP, and I can continue going back to my DPS rotation. Those are some very important key notes there. So even when I was interrupted on my build phase, I used Presence of Mind. I kept casting Arcane Blasts while I was building. And then the next time I got miasma, I was able to use a clear cast, fire blast, and arcane explosion while I was transitioning to the other side, and I was rewarded with a clear cast proc. And then since I had the miasma, I simply alter timed and then got a full heal out of it without needing to make my raid take damage, right? So this is really what we're using, those defensive options. We are using our mobility options, and those are going to be massive key ways to improve your gameplay as Arcane. Now next here, I'm going to demonstrate what a little bit of cooldown patience does. So something I see a lot as well is individuals will essentially open aggressively at the very beginning of a pull, where they won't have any defensive options up, packs won't be grouped together, and they won't be built up. So I'm playing Kyrian here, where the last fight I was playing Venthyr. Now on this pull, this is a very big pull. We are going to do a triple pull in our opening, and on this triple pull, we're going to have to kick a mob, and then we're going to have to make sure they get all grouped up. And we need to build for our go phase, but we're also using Bloodlust, right? So I know all of this. So first, most important aspect here, we get the mirror images out. Arcane is notorious for having extremely high threat generation, and especially when we are going to pop off on these damage meters, we definitely want to make sure we have mirror images popped when we're going to have our lust effect up. Whether it's a boss or a trash pull, pop mirror images prior to engaging in the fight. This will save your life. Okay? So right here now, I'm letting my tank gather. So I'm going to build. I'm playing Curian, so I need to build up my Harmony stacks to maximize my DPS. So since I know I'm going to wait for my tank to group it up, I can take that time to build. Since I have mirror images out, now I know that I'm not going to have to worry about ripping threat off the tank. So perfect situation here. We get some stacks, we touch the Magi, Radiant Spark. Now that everything is nice and grouped up, we got our on-use trinket coming back to us, and we are about to do a massive amount of damage, and we're in a safe spot because we have mirror images available. So with a little bit of patience, our tank got things grouped up, we built up a little bit, and we have a defensive pre-prepared for this pull. These are all great things. Now we're really in a safe position to unload on this mob. And there we go. Absolutely annihilated. A little bit of patience in that preparatory phase made us have effective cooldown use, and then look at the damage meters. We just popped off and did so much damage in that intro here. But now it's going to continue, right? We already are prepared to keep doing DPS. So we have AP up still. We need to keep pressure. So we orb into utilizing our cooldowns. And right there, instead of having to worry about relying on the kick to go out, I just ice block it instantaneously. So, well, as soon as the GCD was available. If you are worried about a mechanic not getting kicked or something like that, use your defensive options. They're there, use them. Of course, Invis was also another option that would have worked as well. In this case, I went with Ice Block because I didn't want to use Invis. Now we're going back into our DPS rotation. We're Arcane Explosioning, we're using our Clear Cast for missiles, Orb, barraging again, and then going back to the same thing. Now, as this pack is about to die, as we prepared before the pull, prepare after. So now, right now, all of our DPS doesn't really matter. These mobs are going to die. There's no real worry about anyone dying in the group. So instead of trying to overexert and overextend my DPS, I want to now build up my Harmony stacks for that next pull. So I'm going to focus on using my missiles to then generate. And now we're going to be able to end this pull at a really high Harmony stack. Perfect, right there. 15 Harmony stacks, and that is the end of the pull. So we prepped with a defensive. We used a defensive in the middle of the pull. We waited for the mobs to be grouped up. That way we had our massive touch of the Magi explosion occur on every single mob. So those are the big takeaways on how to improve your gameplay as Arcane. Always be casting, okay? You have Orb, you have Fire Blast, you have Arcane Explosion. In addition to always being casting, prepping, right? On this pull, we used our defensive option early. We had mirror images out. That way we didn't have to waste a GCD in the middle. Prepping in the initial part of the pull, using our missiles to build while our tank is setting up. And we don't have to worry about pulling aggro because we had our mirror images out. Going back to the Hungering Destroyer pull, when we get miasma or mechanics that we know we're going to take damage, instead of making our healers heal those damage, alter times off the GCD. Alter time back to full. Those are the key in ways to improve your performance. Don't let mechanics lower your DPS. Don't let setup phases trick you into using your cooldowns prior to their needed to be used. Be patient, set up correctly, and always be thinking about what your options are if something were to happen where you need to use mobility or you need to use a defensive option. That's all I have for everyone today. Good luck, slay some raid bosses, pump some DPS meters, and we will see everyone next time in the study. Everyone have a great day.